Hello and welcome to a recap of Oryx Africa's webinar, Paperless Payroll.
All right, good morning once again, everyone. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Onyechi Chima Umugu. I'm a consultant at Oryx Africa, and I want to thank everyone for joining us today for our webinar, Paperless Payroll. Now, before I go into the meat of the webinar, I'm going to be sharing a short video with us that tells us a bit about the start of payroll. Early days of payroll, it was a time-consuming and error-prone process that involved a lot of paperwork. Employees would fill out paper timesheets, which would then be collected and used to calculate wages and deductions. The introduction of computerized payroll systems in the 1970s brought some relief, as it automated many of the manual tasks, reducing errors and improving efficiency. However, paper still played a significant role, with paychecks and reports still being printed out. It wasn't until the rise of the internet in the 1990s that the next major evolution of payroll took place: paperless payroll. So once again, welcome to the Paperless Payroll webinar. And now I'm going to be moving on to sharing a few slides with us that explain a bit more about why we are here. And before I start, I want to let us know that if we have any questions during the course of this, there is a Q&A icon at the top of your screen on the left side where you can put in your questions, or at the end of the webinar, you can ask them at that point. Thank you. Now, paperless payroll. Before I go even further, I'm going to let us know everything that we're going to be discussing today. So first up, I'm going to start us with an overview of the issues that come with paper-based payroll. Next, I'm going to show us the benefits that would come with going paperless. And then we're going to show how you can move from paper-based payroll to completely paperless payroll and how you can do that effectively. And then finally, we would have the Q&A session, which I mentioned earlier, when we ask the questions that we end up having during the course of this webinar. All right, now first up is the payroll challenge. So payroll, as I'm sure most of us here know, is essential for any proper company. You'd need to run your taxes, you'd need to run paychecks, the pay slips for your employees. Any upright or regular business would need to have proper payroll in check. And we've seen that in other parts of a business, automation and technology has come forward to improve how things run. So here at Oryx Africa, we believe that this should also apply to payroll, hence the paperless payroll systems. So a few of the benefits that come with paperless payroll is that it would save you cost. So if you go digital, which is what paperless entails, you would save money on printing. So you wouldn't need a printer, you wouldn't need to keep buying paper, you wouldn't need to keep buying ink, and even the storage space for all of this paper that you accumulate, none of this would be necessary anymore. Also, you would reduce the errors. As the popular saying goes, to err is human. But now when you take out humans having to manually put in all the data and instead you automate these entries, you would completely delete the issue of having errors due to human factors. A few more benefits are that it saves you time. So again, it's not people having to do things step by step, but instead everything has been automated. And this would save you valuable time that you can apportion to doing other things for the effective running of your business. Also, it's eco-friendly. You're not using much paper anymore, or any paper really, and that makes your business sustainable, which is great for the environment because you are not using all that big bulk of paper anymore. And so it's helping the environment, and you're doing your part to making the earth livable for even longer. And then finally is accessibility. So now with paper, you'd have it stored up in a central physical location that you'd have to go to. If you needed a particular document, you'd have to go to wherever it is physically stored before you can access that. But with paperless payroll, all you'd need to do is log into the system from wherever you are on whichever device, be it a laptop or your mobile device. Just log in, find whatever document it is you need, and just download it, and you'd have it with you wherever you are. Doesn't that sound great? I think it does. All right, and now that I've told you all the good things that come with moving to paperless payroll, at Oryx Africa, we have built a solution called Oryx Payroll that would move you efficiently and effectively into the world of paperless payroll. And at this point, I'm going to have my colleague, Chuka Obi, show us a bit of what the system entails. And again, if we've gotten any questions that we'd like to ask during the course of this part, I would implore us to use the Q&A section or just hold on to your questions and you can ask them at the end. We will definitely answer you. So now, Chuka, you have the floor.
Thank you, Onyinye, and welcome everyone to this webinar. My name is Obi Chuka, like my colleague rightly said, and I'll be sharing my screen shortly. Kindly let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
All right. Once again, thank you for your time. So here currently we are viewing the Oryx Payroll dashboard amongst other modules, but this is basically focused on the payroll itself. And here we have at a glance different menus, different cards, different figures showing, and all. I'll just take us around it a bit. So currently I'm logged on as the admin, so I'll basically have access to basically all that things to the system. The system is a permission-based system where you can segregate what employees can see and what the payroll admin can see and what they cannot see. So here is me logged on as the admin, and just below we have the process payroll button, which I'll talk about in a bit. The select processing period speaks to the current month in which we are processing payroll for, and here we're using our default, our test month, which is the 5th of 2023. And just below it, you have different quick action menu. The unlock period that helps you log the period after payroll has been processed, and then change cannot be done to it anymore. And here we have these where payslips are being released after payroll has been processed. Figures tally with whatever you have, and you can send payslip to every employee dashboard. And here speaks to missing data that helps you see data that are missing when you present to journal thereabouts. And this release payment schedule helps you schedule payments or payslip payment for future purposes, if not at the moment. And here we have the audit log, helps you see who makes changes and what changes have been done. And we have the quick reports that basically speaks to just the tax and the paycheck report, or which is not set in stone. You can have other reports inbuilt into this as well. Now, I guess you're wondering what figures are showing here, and I'll explain that shortly. So here we have the gross salary part, the taxes, the net pay, deduction, and whatnot. So what we've done here is basically at a glance, you can see the figure for the previous month, which is the one below, the figure in small fonts. And then the present month speaks to this one in a bigger font. So this analysis applies for each and every of these cards here, for the taxes and net pay and thereabouts. Now, scrolling down, we have the payroll trend, helps us at a glance to see payroll trend for the past 6 months. So from the present month to 6 months back, that's what we've done. And then we have the employee count as well, that helps you see how the staff number increases or decreases for the past 6 months. So for the present month to the past 6 months. Now, this is all about the menu here. Now we have different functionalities tied to payroll. So clicking on this menu drop down, we can see the process variable. Apparently, payroll has some variable items that are not that varies by employee or per month. So we can talk about the 13th month, the leave thereabouts. So this helps you process those variables. And then we have the salary advance if employees request for advanced salary for some reasons, and then you can have that captured in the system. And we also have the journal posting, the time processing. Time processing basically can be tied to biometric machines where employees clock in and clock out. And if peradventure it has to be tied to payroll, whereby deductions can be done where employees default for coming in late or being absent for a whole day, that can be configured using the time processing. And then we have the report proper. So remember we talked about the quick report where we had the time, the pay sheet report and the tax reports. Yes, this is just a quick report that has those two. Now the report itself has all the reports menu, remitter reports, employee basis reports, and the rest of it. So this report is in depth or more vast than the one you showed initially. And you have the bulk insert that helps you upload the bulk. It's all we doing it singularly. And then we have the same pay slips that helps. So what happens here is on the same pay slips is that what we've done here is when pay slips have been released, employees tend to see the pay slips on the dashboard. So once they have their login details, they log into the system, and then the payroll admin has released payslip for a month. Once they log in, there's a section that shows all their payslips. Now, if it is that the company requests payslip to be sent to employees' emails, now that's where we have the send payslip. So coming in here, you click on the send by email, and employees get their payslips in their email inboxes, provided their emails are already in the system. Our correct emails are already in the system, so they get their payslips in their emails. And then other payments, captures, other payments that are not really that comes once in a while or thereabouts. And they will have discontinued pay that helps payroll admin penalize employees who have defaulted, and for such reason they can stop payments for a particular period or choose amount to stop, amount not to be paid to a particular employee for some reasons. And then the overtime processing happens to be situation whereby if a company pays employees for working overtime, be it holiday, be it the weekend, be it whatever it is, so far it's even after closing hours thereabouts, this Oris Payroll can help capture overtime processing. So basically, this is just an overview of the Oryx Payroll. They are more to it per se, but I'm just trying to touch base on each of it so we can see how efficiently and profitable this would be to every company or organization that buys into this solution. So here I draw the curtain on my demo, and I'll be expecting questions if there are any. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much, Chuka, for that. Now, the floor is open for questions. If anyone has any questions, you are free to ask them now. You can use the reaction part of your system to raise your hand, and you can ask your question once we call on you. So any questions about any part? All right. We have a hand up from Mr. Chimaruki. You can go ahead and ask your question. So you can just unmute your mic and go ahead.
Yes, thanks. That's a decent presentation. I'm only going to make a request, please. I missed quite a great part of the presentation because I was in transit. I thought I could make it to my office before the meeting, the webinar started. So I'm making a request whether I can get this recording, because I need to share it. I wanted to share with some of my colleagues, especially the guys who are now looking at the payroll. So I wanted them to be part of the webinar, but unfortunately, since I couldn't get to I'm still on the hold on. So, and I wasn't able to connect on time. So I'm wondering whether we can get a copy of the recording, because this seems to be recorded. Are being recorded. If this is possible, I will appreciate. because that side, especially the Chuka side, where he was talking about the nitty-gritties of it, if I can get it, and just Jiffy I shared with my team, this may be what they may be interested in. Thank you.
Okay. So yes, there is a recording, and the recording will be shared with all the participants.
All right, thanks.
Okay, do we have any other questions from anyone else? Okay, so if there are no questions, another thing I'd like to mention, which I didn't mention to us earlier, is that Oryx Payroll was built by Nigerians and was built specifically for the processes that we have in our region. So not just in Nigeria, but across West Africa, and is currently being implemented across board. So I would like us to keep it in mind that this system was built with you and with your company in mind. All right, and now without further ado, I would like to thank everyone for taking out their time on a busy work day to spend it with us at our webinar, and do have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
For more information on how you can start your payroll journey with us, reach out to us via the link in our description box below and follow us on our socials on the screen right now. Have a great day.